Poised for Exit is a show for business owners who want to achieve a successful exit based on their own terms. Your business exit will likely be the biggest financial transaction of your life, and for most, you'll have one shot at doing it right. The topics and guests we feature and the stories they share will provide valuable ideas and strategies to improve operations and grow enterprise value so you can achieve the best possible exit outcome. Now here's your host, award-winning certified exit planning advisor, Julie Keys.
Welcome everyone to the Poised for Exit podcast show. In this episode, we're going to be talking with the female founder of a construction job site cleaning business, and she's also a fellow member of the Association of Women Contractors. We're going to hear from her right after these messages.
My name is Todd Crow, and I'm the president of the Twin Cities Exit Planning Chapter. If you're a business owner and advisor and want to learn more about the world of exit planning, you're invited to visit the Twin Cities chapter of the Exit Planning Institute. You can expect top-level education delivered by subject matter experts at every monthly meeting. Grow your network and draw from the learning that could be a game changer for your business or your practice. There's no pressure to become a member, so come and see what the buzz is all about. Our meetings are held the second Wednesday of the month, 7:30 to 9 a.m. See the show notes for more information and registration links.
Thinking about selling your business in the next few years? Don't wait to start planning. I've seen too many business owners wait too long and regret it. Freedom Financial Partners are financial advisors who specialize in exit planning for business owners, helping you reduce tax surprises, protect what you've built, and quantify how much you need from the sale. Their proven process helps you think beyond your business so you can move forward with clarity and confidence. The longer you wait, the fewer options you may have. Download your free financial readiness assessment today at ffpforme.com/exit. That's ffpforme.com/exit. Are you a business owner getting ready to transition? If so, I recommend True North Mergers and Acquisitions as your confidential strategic partner. They understand your business sale isn't just about one buyer and the price, but what you net that counts. In other words, what you get to keep. When you're ready for a higher level of representation that delivers consistent results, contact True North M&A to do the heavy lifting of selling your business. Learn more at tnma.com. That's tnma.com.
Exiting your business is a big deal, both financially and emotionally. I'm John Marquet, Certified Exit Planning Advisor with TrustPoint. We help business owners transition smoothly on their terms. Our focus is on maximizing value, minimizing stress, and giving you confidence in what's next. Whether you're selling or passing the torch, we make the process seamless. Start planning today at trustpointinc.com. That's trustpointinc.com.
Hello, Poised for Exit listeners. We are here today with Erica Haataja, founder of Nordic Shine. Erica, welcome to Poised for Exit.
Thank you for having me. This is exciting.
I'm so glad that you're here. And you are a woman entrepreneur working kind of in a man's world. And we're going to get into that a little bit in the show. Got a lot of good questions for you to ask you about all the things. But first, I just want to know, how did you get here? What's your background? What led you to this?
My background is psychology and criminology. So I was 15 years in running group homes for all different sorts of vulnerable adults. And I left it right after COVID. I was nannying and cleaning on the side. And that's when my husband, who's also in construction, was like, find a niche. And it's in construction. So I actually was hesitant on it. And my husband was very supportive on, you can make this a business. You can make this a total growing success. And he had the knowledge in it. And we had one company give us the in and kind of blew it from there. And 3.5 years later, here we are.
3.5 years. So is your husband actually in the industry?
Yeah. So he is a project manager for a construction steel framing company.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
Do you ever get jobs from them?
Not from his company, no,
Yeah.
but he networks a ton. So I started to network in the same groups he's in.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
How cool is that? You can kind of call your own hours in, right? And so I'll just give you a snippet. The reason why I'm interested in this is because before I owned all of the companies and everything and consulting, so a long time ago, I was in the mortgage business for a long time. And a lot of the work that I did, a lot of the lending I did was for residential builders. And so the crew that had to come in before the people moved in was so essential. We literally would have some closings delayed because it wasn't done well enough, or they didn't show, or they did a rotten job and they had to hire somebody else. I mean, people might not think that what you're doing is essential, but it's essential to the entire process, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So are you mostly residential or mostly commercial?
We are probably 75% commercial
Mm,
and a good 25% with some of our strongest GCs
sure.
being residential.
Wow. And tell me about your crew.
Oh gosh, I could brag about them all day. I have two project managers that have been, I mean, they take every random thing I throw at them with go attitude. And our crew behind it, we started a hiring funnel that's based off of our core values. And
Mm,
our crew actually hires each other. So they know who's coming in to back them up. They know who's going to be on the job sites with them. They know, who else is going to be hiring other people. And we're all a core value match, which
mm.
brings a lot of our camaraderie. We're laughing a ton on the job sites. We're always smiling. Everyone's excited to see each other. We know stuff about each other. We don't just show up, do our work, and leave.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Hmm.
So I love that. I love that you've got the core values articulated. I don't want people to assume, and I'm not going to assume what your services are. So maybe you could break down a little bit what your services are, what your typical customer is like, that kind of thing.
So we have two departments. We have a post-construction cleaning side, which our general contractors are either commercial builders, residential builders. And within that, we are doing offices, we've done healthcare clinics, we've done schools, restaurants, all the way down to just tenant improvement stuff
Well,
and apartments and all that. And really, we want our who we are to be known to them face to face. We're not very much sit behind the phone or the email. We like to come in and introduce ourselves. And then we ask them, like, what are you looking for? What do you like? What don't you like? What bugs you about cleaners? So we get all the dirty, pun intended, details out of them. And then
yeah.
we work with their schedule. We know, hey, trades are going to be pushed off. Let us know in advance so we can wiggle room it back some. And then we have our reoccurring commercial side. So those are office buildings, showrooms. We have a printing company. We have a actual construction company in there. We have a co-working space in there. That's going to be our day-to-day maintenance cleaning. They're every Monday, every Tuesday, all of that. We work with the hours they need cleaning, and our crew gets trained in. So they know what the client's like there. They know who the owner is. Um, they know the ins and outs of what they need in the business cleaned as well.
Tell me about how you knew to orchestrate and build such great processes when you didn't come necessarily from the business world.
A lot of trial and error and lessons learned. So I really asked a lot of GCs right up front, what are you look for? Can you walk me through, what you've experienced before? So I was very forward with a lot of them. I was like, we're
Mhm.
new, but we want to learn from what you have seen before. And I've actually sat down with other cleaners. So I was very fortunate enough to have a lot of women before me open arm, tell me all their secrets, tell me all, like, it wasn't a competition. They were like, hey, this is what I do. You should try this, this, and this. And so some of our processes are actually learned from other women
Mm,
that were open to telling me it. And then there's a lot of other construction men in the world that we are in that have been super honest. They want to see us succeed. They've spread our name out. So we just ask straight up front, like, here's what we do. What are you looking for? And we've
mm,
been very blessed with that.
sure. So if I'm a GC and I've got a site that I need cleaned up for a specific settlement date or whatever, am I scheduling that with a person, or do I get to go online and just work it out with what works for me?
You work with a person, so you get hands-on communication. I wish it was that easy, but we know it's not in this
Sure.
industry.
I suppose there's a lot to
No.
it, right? If this, then that kind of thing.
Yep, yeah. So they usually call us or email us and say, hey, can we get a save the date basically and use on the schedule? And then what we do is we call about 2 weeks ahead of time to a week ahead of time and say, hey, are you guys still on schedule? This
Yeah.
is when we're going to show up. This is what time, what lock boxes, all that. So we have to get all the details.
Right, right. Well, plus, like the scope of the work is probably going to be different depending on the site,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. the scope changes throughout whatever job is we're hitting up.
Well, is there a lot of detailing in that too? I mean, because I'm thinking like I only built one house in my life and I did not build my office building, but I do remember that the stinking stickers were still on the windows both times, you know? It's like, what?
Yeah.
Why did no one
Yeah.
remove
So,
these things?
yeah, that we do remove those. Yep. So make sure that like our scope is detailed. So if it's window stickers coming off, we take out the bottom drawers of
Yeah,
all the counters, all the shelvings. The bottom drawers come out and we vacuum underneath there because people don't realize dust goes under there and we're opening, closing, opening, closing. Uh,
right.
some scopes they want their windows done, but they also want the inside of the window done where it closes and shuts. So we do the window sill.
Mm-hmm.
Some don't want that. They're like, nope, just interior windows. So we learn like the corners of where walls come together. That's what most GCs tell us drive them nuts. They're
Mm-hmm.
like, walls aren't washed in the corners or hinges on doors. So that's all the
Mm-hmm.
stuff we get.
Right. That's what I was thinking, like with the detailing of yeah, because I think of that myself. Like I see things and I'm just like, how gross. Like seriously.
Yeah. Residential is definitely more nitpicky.
Yeah.
And we understand why, because homeowners, they've paid so much money to get this remodel. And so we are always making sure homeowners are heard and seen and have them do a walkthrough if they can. Commercial, we have the GCs always do a walkthrough with us. So and we know a punch list is going to come our way because trades are in there after us again. So we're always flexible with that kind of stuff.
I love the attention to detail. I'm sure that your customers do too, which is why you're growing so fast.
Yeah.
So you and I met through the Association of Women Contractors, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show. And so tell me about how that involvement has helped your business as well, because I'm sure that it has.
It has helped me a ton with the imposter syndrome that I had when I first started. I
Mm,
mean, the women in that group are there to see you succeed. They
hmm.
want to give you the ins and outs of things they've made mistakes on, or they've learned, or they've succeeded in. There are no secrets. If you don't have an answer, you can call any of them up. I didn't know how to do prevailing wage and that whole report, and Barb connected me with another person and was like, call her. And I sat on the phone with her for an hour and a half while she walked me through prevailing wage. And now she's one of my good buddies to this day.
Fantastic. So you must be a union shop then.
Nope, we are not union.
You're not. Okay. You're just dealing with prevailing wage because that's what you want to do.
We like the prevailing wage jobs too. We're starting
Sure.
to learn how to bid them correctly, but
Sure.
our crew, our top AA cleaners, they're getting those jobs. They're
Yeah.
the ones that get put on the prevailing wage jobs. So they also like getting them too.
Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, I know they pay better too, which is good for everybody, right?
Right?
Um,
Yes.
being that you and I have something in common, which is, well, first of all, we're both members of AWC, but secondly, we're both women entrepreneurs, and I know firsthand from getting started many years ago that it's not easy, right? Being a woman and running a business, and here you are, woman owned, running a business and in kind of a man's industry, which I have been my whole life, and it doesn't scare me. But for you to like completely switch, like doing 180, right? It seems like
Yeah.
anyway, from right industries. So tell me about how that's been. Like, what have you learned? What have been the most valuable lessons if if you were going to turn around and pay it forward, if you will, like some of the other members that you've met from AWC have done for you, what are some things that you would say?
You are right, 180 careers there. One thing that I've learned is holding my ground. So we are in a man's industry. We have run into situations where men make comments, and I have put them right back on their tail end and made them think about some of their stuff that they've said.
Mm,
And I tell my crew the same thing. We are working on a job site with all men. If there is something that's ever spoken to you inappropriately, someone makes you uncomfortable, do not be afraid to speak up and say it to their face, or go
mhm,
find the GC or myself, whatever's needed. So I make sure our crew is always protected because we are female majority crew. And we've had also some really amazing GCs that have spoken up for us. They've made sure that the crew is taken care of, that no one's disrespecting them. So we've run into some phenomenal job suits and GCs that we appreciate. But for
mhm.
the most part, I think a lot of our partners have never looked at us down. there are moments where I'm like, I don't know what I'm talking about or what they're talking about because I was learning so fast that the best advice I got was call out the behavior or the situation or the words you don't know because they'd rather you ask than not know.
Yes.
And I learned that from a very high, amazing PM female who's been in the industry forever. And I've done that. I've looked at, hey, I don't really know what that is. Let me get back to you on that. Or can you show me the scope again? I'm not quite sure what area you're talking about. I want to make sure I'm on the same page with you.
Mm-hmm.
So being able to look at someone and say it straight on both ends, whether it's negative or positive, has always come out in the best for me.
So smart. Yeah. And nothing wrong with being a woman in a man's industry. Honestly, I think it's really admirable. And obviously, because I've been doing it my whole life.
Yeah.
But sometimes we get discriminated against, like our credibility isn't, where we think it is, right?
Mhm.
And so hopefully you're not running into that too much. I sure did early on, but it's a lot better now, and I feel like there's more respect for women in leadership positions like you are, like I am. Um, so maybe you've got like a story or something that you kind of worked through that you could share with our listeners that maybe would illustrate this or illustrate a situation you were in with a client that, it seemed like it wasn't going to really work out very well, but here's what we did, and it just came out way better than I thought it was going to, or something like that. I just I love stories. I didn't prep you for sharing a story, but I'm thinking that you got some time under your belt with this thing, so I'm sure you got a couple that you could share.
Yeah, I think the story that I learned most was definitely with imposter syndrome, like not holding where I felt I was up higher because you do get that backlash of like, oh, you don't really know what you're talking about, or you're new, I can kind of bulldoze over you. So we did have it where I put in a bid for a job and we won it. And it was like, okay, we won it, we went and did it. And I learned real quick I was the low bidder and I was eating money and I couldn't do what I thought I was able to do because I was
Mm,
so low.
mm,
The GC didn't say anything about it. It was just like I kind of walked away with a learning lesson. I basically broke even. And that story, that moment made me realize that I know my worth. And saying no more often makes you more desirable. So I started saying no to jobs that I'm like, I'm not going to make money off this. I'm
yeah,
not going to be the low bidder. I'm not going to be just a crew that walks on and then you can just push us around. Oh, you want this? You want this? It's like, "Nope, that's a T&M. Nope, you got to add, that's not in our scope." So I really learned how to set my ground. And after that moment, when I kind of walked away with a not making anything off it, I learned that it's okay to not win every job.
yes,
And it's okay to ask for feedback. So we get feedback a lot from GCs if we don't win to see where we're at.
sure.
And every time we put a bid in, I make sure, am I going to be happy? Is my crew going to be treated well? And I think it's the biggest thing that like learning I am the owner. I know what I'm doing. I know how to estimate things. I know, if they come back and they're like, well, can you take this off? And I'm like, yeah, if we take that off, it's not gonna, you're not gonna save a ton, but because you're just gonna be asking us to do it again. And lo and behold, that's happened before. And then
Sure.
I kind of get, the hey, can you listen to what I'm saying moment now? You
Hmm.
wanted to take this out and now you're asking us to do it again. So I really overall, a story overall is just knowing that I am the professional in my industry and I don't
Yes.
pretend like I'm an electrician and can go tell an electrician what to do. So it's cleaning, but we have a rhyme and reason to it.
Well, and you have a process and you have the way that you orchestrate like your team, hire your team, the whole core values thing. Like you're a bona fide business that collaborates with other contractors in the grand scheme of a large project. So without you, there's no final end game, right? Like it ain't happening. I love that you are, firm about, what your services are, how you move forward. Because I think that, especially for women, I think that we can be, well, that's okay, or okay, well, right, we'll take that off. I mean, I know that I was guilty of that in the very beginning. I'm not anymore. And I'm with you. Like, if I see a job that as much as I'd love to help them, I'm not a nonprofit. And
Exactly.
I'm also not a fit for everybody, and I'm totally cool with that. Like, there's other people out there that might be a better fit for, certain owners, and I'm not a fit. And it sounds like you've really identified that well, which is fantastic. So let's jump into like what the future looks like. What are your growth plans? How do you plan to scale this thing? Because clearly you're on a trajectory.
Yeah. So we are going to keep the hiring funnel going. So our hiring funnel is always running. We're always looking for top AA cleaners and growing that side. Our crew runs all of the interviews. They know what they want. So once we had that up and going, our next big growth really, our post construction is phenomenal. We're growing that side. It kind of runs by itself now.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reoccurring commercial business. We want,
Mm,
apartment buildings. We want common spaces. We're looking to grow that side
yeah.
and really offer more jobs and hours to our employees. And that alone is the part that we're probably going to be focusing on for the growth for the next 3 to 5 years. Really
Mm-hmm.
upping that game and learning how to process the processes that they need a checklist, they need this. We're getting a lot of small little things in place to make that go.
That makes a lot of sense. The recurring revenue business model is not only more lucrative and easier to budget and project when you know when the money's coming in and what's coming in, but also it makes your business more valuable for whenever the day comes that you decide, yep, I'm done, I'm moving on to the next thing, right? So
Mhm.
I love that you're putting those things together. That when I have a lot of clients in the different construction trades, and I have ever since the beginning. I don't know why. Maybe because I know a lot about the process because I was kind of in it, for a lot of years. Even after the mortgage business, I owned a title company for 23 years. So I
Oh,
understand,
wow, yeah.
you know what I mean? And so I do understand a lot of what happens. I know where like the money bleed is. It's usually in change orders and
Oh,
undocumented work. Like people don't actually track the time. And obviously, there's technology now that solves for a lot of that. But I've always had an affinity for the industry, so I love that you're putting these plans together for growth. And that's one of the things that I recommend, like service, contracts and maintenance contracts. So good for
mhm.
you, Erica. Um, so
Thank you.
I was just thinking like your background in psychology, that just came to me like like my last question, how does that impact the work that you do?
It allows me to kind of understand a lot of the pressure on other people.
Yeah.
So I've really taught our crew to go in and be like, listen, the job soups or the GCs or the other trades, they're under high pressure. So we got to go in with a smile. We got to be something that they don't always have there. Like we're always joking, we're always laughing, we're having fun. The psychology in there is just like be the light, it
Mhm.
attracts more positivity. So it also attracts like a lot of job suits being like, wow, this was great. You guys just were so easy to do stuff with before.
Yeah.
And it also helps with pretty witty on a lot of morbid humor. So if I gotta like be quick to put someone in their place, oh, I can go fast, but also I can come back to reality and be like, all right, we good now? Like, we're good. Glad we
I
could have
love
that
it.
conversation. So it's really not taking a lot of stuff super hard and super personal and
Yeah.
separating the two and learning what are other people going through? What are they feeling today? Trades work 12-hour shifts. Trades also work sometimes really crappy hours or under a lot of pressure.
Yes.
So it's a lot of understanding how other people are on the job site.
That is so, so smart. I love that you incorporate it that way because humans are humans, right?
Yes.
At the end of the day, all of us have a lot of the same struggles and a lot of the same needs and wants, and you've got that figured out, right? And
Mhm.
boy, I'm just so excited that you were on the show. I'm so happy about this interview. I wish we could keep going. We're going to have you back on. I want to keep
Thank you
track
for having
of
me.
absolutely. I want to keep track of your growth and how things are going for you in the future because this is super. We are going to have several more guests from AWC on the show over the next couple of months, which is kind of cool. So you're one of the first ones. Um,
Yeah, that's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. Anyway, thank you, Erica, for being on the show.
Yeah,
I so
thank you for
appreciate.
having me.
Yes, and our listeners, thank you so much for joining us. Please do share this episode with your friends, colleagues, clients, customers, and so on. We really appreciate you joining us and join us again next time. Thanks, Erica.